Hello, creators. Today we're going to be talking about the basics of the law of attraction. This is pretty much the things to get you started in understanding the principles. It's not so much about understanding the terminology and all of that. It's just kind of the basics, right? So let's start off with understanding that everything in the universe is vibration. Everything is frequency. That is the main language of the universe. Here we speak with our throats. We make sounds, and that gets translated by our hearing. Those vibrations get turned into words that we understand. It gets processed in our minds, right? And that is because here in this physical world, we need tools like eyes, ears, nose, mouth, tongue, all of our senses to feel the vibrations of things. Anything that you touch and it's hard, even your hand, it's vibrating at a rate that makes it dense enough to be physical. So we start there, understanding that everything in the universe is vibration. Now, we go into the laws of the universe, right? Or specifically the law of attraction. You only perceive that which you are a vibrational match to. That means you will never experience anything that doesn't match your own vibration. You'll never experience anything outside of what you already are inside. So we can start with examples like the things you talk about, the things you focus on, the things you watch. What kind of content are you watching? Are you looking at drama? Are you looking at fear-based? Are you looking at take like an audit, right? Audit the kind of things that you look at, and then compare to what kind of things you experience in your life. I'm going to give you an example. When I turned 21, I got my gun permit, and I always had it on me, always carrying it everywhere, always saying I'm going to have it on me in case I need it. So what I was doing with that is I was anticipating creating these events, right? Where I would be put in a situation where I needed to draw my firearm and defend myself. And I was watching tons of YouTube content on firearms and self-defense and like clearing houses and like playing things like Call of Duty and all this stuff, right? And that was my focus. That's what I was focused on. So everywhere that I would go, I would just be like paranoid, looking around. We went to a concert about 2 years ago, and this was around the time where I was constantly carrying, and there was a minor altercation going on, literally like 50 feet away from us, right, on the other side of the concert hall. And I didn't really enjoy the time because I was so focused on what they were doing over there. I just kept like, just in case something breaks out, I'm gonna continue looking over there. And I didn't enjoy the concert. And my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, she was having a good time. She didn't care about what was going on. She was enjoying the concert. And see, my vibration was looking for these problems, right? And once I realized this, once I started really understanding the law of attraction, I was like, well, I'm focusing so much on something negative happening to me that I'm just putting myself in that. It was inside of me first. I'm going to carry this because this is going to happen, and I need to protect myself. Now, there's some of you out there that will say, well, it's real life, things happen, and that's okay because that's your truth. That's not the truth that I and many other beings align with. We all create our own reality. Whatever is true for you is going to be true for you. That's a baseline. So, going back, figure out what kind of stuff it is that you're watching. Those are the kinds of things that you attract into your life. Now, let's shift to a more higher frequency. So, when you start shifting your focus to things like gratitude, things like peace, things like love, all these other higher vibrational emotions, you start to attract that more into your life. And this is something you do gradually. You can't hop from here to here. You can, but after you've experienced this side enough, that you know the difference. You know how to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, me, I have times where I fall down into fear or ego, but because I've just been having a lot of practices for quite a while now, I know what it feels like to be over here, so I can breathe, relax, and hop back onto that timeline. So with practice, with patience with yourself, it all starts with being kind to yourself. You know, a lot of, especially males, your masculine energy is very get things done. I gotta try harder. Very, very, you know, very like that. So shifting, pulling back a little bit from that can help you go more into flow and embracing your feminine energy. Understanding that. Now, how do you attract the things that you want? You start off with breathing, meditating, and visualizing. I suggest going in that order, learning to breathe first, then integrating your breathing into your meditation while you learn to breathe. So now you're practicing breathing when you're learning meditation, and then you get those, and then you into visualization, you're practicing your breathing and your meditation while you're learning visualization. Okay, I'm gonna do some 3 separate videos outlining those, how to do it, so you can create exactly what it is that you want. You can outline it. Now, universe, usually your manifestation isn't always exactly what you visualize, but it gives you exactly what you do need. And pretty much 10 times out of 10, it's better than what you imagined, the manifestation. So with your breathing, the concept of breathing just seems so passive, right? It's not something you actively do. And while that does keep you alive and keep you going through life, you are in a reactive state. You're not actually in a calm place. One of my favorite people to watch, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he is a neuroscientist who was actually studying into the field of consciousness. Even Nikola Tesla said, we will learn 100 times more and 100 times faster when we start embracing the non-physical instead of only focusing on the physical. Because we all know, science today, everything today is, if you can't see it, if you can't test it, it's not real. And that is limiting, is keeping us away from all these other things, right? But now we're entering this space when we're embracing science and consciousness, and to create a whole new experience, a whole new... Okay, back to what we were talking about. Breathing. He gave this great analogy saying animals, they can all hold stress for a short period of time. The example he gives is a deer getting chased by a wolf, right? Or a gazelle getting chased by a cheetah. In those seconds that they're chasing, the gazelle is in stress. It sends all its blood to its muscles. Its only focus is to survive, to run, to survive. It's not feeding, right? So the gazelle is going, it gets away from the cheetah. The cheetah backs off. 5 minutes later, the gazelle calms down and continues eating again, continues on with its day. Humans sit there after a stressful situation, and we continue to relive it, and create it again and again and again. So, how does breathing play into this? When you slow your breathing, you do that 7 times. Hold it for a little bit. Exhale through your mouth. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to stop what you're doing. You can be driving down the road and just inhale, hold, exhale. You do that 7 times and you activate what's called your parasympathetic nervous system. You can look up more about it. I am not a scientist. I am not a biologist. I just know that this is the opposite of the stress, right? So the gazelle, right, was in survival, and now it's back to eating. People, they get into survival from a stressful situation, and they never go back to the grazing, because it's just not taught. It's just not taught in this culture. Now, if we look at cultures out east, they obviously meditation, breathing, all these practices are just a part of the culture. Here, it's more profitable I should say. It's more profitable for people to be wound up and scared and running around and just constantly here, fulfilling, needing that instant gratification of things. You see how that's more profitable, right? So you start with your breathing to relax your body, because once you're in the relaxed state, you've now entered a creative state where you can receive ideas, where you can act from a place of more consciousness versus from a place of fear, from a place of scarcity, right? So this is why I believe it's important to start with your breathing, to understand that, and then go hop onto your meditation, into your visualization. Because if you can control your body, you can control how you feel, how your energy flows through, and you can control your emotions. And actually, let me kind of rewind. I don't like the word control. If you can guide your breathing, guide your body, guide your emotions, then you can in turn guide the reality that you create, because you're guiding your vibration. You're not in a fearful vibration. You're gonna align with getting almost hit by someone on the road, getting cut off by this person, or someone being rude to you. If these are the things that constantly happen to you, you've just developed a lower. If these are the things that you align with, you've just developed a lower vibration. And that's not bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. Having a high vibration and a low vibration, there is no good or bad. Things just are. Things just are. So, if you're starting off at a baseline, lower vibration, that's okay, because we all do. I did. I was in ego and fear and scarcity because I didn't understand any of this. I didn't know how to guide, to create. I didn't understand that. I thought everything had to be physical. If you wanted something, you have to go out and do it. You have to go out and get it. Like that was the way I was raised, along with a lot of you and a lot of people in this side of the world, very physical. Now we're shifting and we're beginning to understand that there's more to it. And if you're watching this, you can only watch this. You're only watching this if your vibration is getting in towards this direction. If we're a vibrational match, you see. If you're not seeing, those that aren't seeing this will never see it if they're not on that vibration. Especially getting this far into the video. If you're this far and you're hearing me say this, your vibration is already rising and you're entering a new reality. Some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted yesterday. It was a tweet from a really nice page I follow on Twitter. That we are constantly shifting timelines. Every millisecond, we're shifting timelines. It's human form. We can't really understand that. We can't write it down and be like, oh, I was just in that timeline, now I'm here. However, our spirit self, our higher self, this is normal to them. They hop in and out of dimension because they're not living in linear time. Where us here in the physical world, we especially now, we live by a clock. Whereas anything above this realm, you can go in and out of time, see ahead, see all the possibilities, see in the back, see in the past, and yeah. Now, we've understood our breathing a little bit. Meditation. Meditation does not mean that you have to be a monk, that you have to be Hindu, that you have to be do yoga, meditation doesn't mean the stereotypical things. Meditation, you don't even have to be sitting down cross-legged, doing mudras, doing mantras, chanting Om. You don't have to do these things to meditate. You can lay on your back, play some. It's better if you do specific frequency music. For example, 432 hertz is the frequency of nature and balance. 528 hertz is a good healing frequency. 639 hertz is a frequency of your heart chakra. It allows you to expand and open and just be a more loving being. And then there's a bunch out there. There's a bunch out there that you can see. But meditation, you can just lay there, listen to some good frequency music, close your eyes. The point of it is to, like your breath, You guide your body, right? With your breath, you guide your body. With meditation, you guide your mind, right? Now, the mind is part of the body, yes, but in ourselves, our beings are the mind. There's two in here. It's the mind and your true self, which is the observer of your life, right? So in here in this physical world, we believe that we are the ego, that I am Luis, that you are this person, and that you over there are that person. But in reality, these are like our characters. This is like a video game. This really is. And the observer is the soul, your true essence. Because when this body dies, your soul just moves on. You can incarnate in another place. And if that sounds too esoteric or out there for you, that's okay. And a quick reminder for this video and all other videos you watch, take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. There is no need for you or I to try to convince each other of you're right, I'm wrong. That's the ego. That's the ego that we're talking about. The ego says, my ideas are right. This is who I am. This is what's correct for me. And your soul understands you have a perspective, I have a perspective. They're both true to the individual, and you just move on, because everyone's having their own individual experience, their own. So with meditation, it helps you guide your mind. Instead of maybe you're driving down the road and your mind, you're just thinking about so many things, and again, then that affects your vibration. And now someone's cutting you off, and then you're thinking about it and you're pissed off about it. And you're continuing with that pissed off energy driving down the road, and you're just attracting more of that negativity in it. But you're driving down the road and you've been practicing meditation for a while, you've been practicing breathing, someone cuts you off, you take a deep breath, you kind of clear your mind for a little bit, and you let it go. They go on their way safely, you wish them safe travels, you wish yourself safe travels, and you go on. And now you are entering the timeline where you're having a good drive versus staying on the timeline where you're having a sucky drive or a negative drive, right? So now hopefully you're starting to understand how switching timelines and how multidimensional it is that you are. And I know this video is really long. It might be like 15 minutes by now, I'm not sure, but I am going to break it down into breathing, meditation, and visualization in separate videos just so it can be more in-depth, focus on those things. But meditation is something that it's obviously it's recommended to do every day, specifically in the morning when you wake up. That way you clear your mind out and you choose what you create, what you push out into the world, versus you waking up and being reactive to your mind, reactive to whatever thought it is, reactive to the stuff you wake up and you get on your phone, you get on Instagram. That's really the point, is to level yourself out so you can then choose what you put your focus on, instead of you just being flooded. Like, humans are not meant, as far as the amount of information getting pushed out, right? People went from before cities, there was not a lot of information being presented to us. It was the normal day-to-day living of a more simpler life. And now our phones are just constant notifications. There's constant feedback from people, constant feedback from work. There's electricity, Wi-Fi, so many things like going on around us. And again, remember, we are vibrational beings. So all these things affect us. All these things affect our vibration. That's why it's important to practice these things, so you can control, you can guide your life, your existence. And that's what I'm going to do in the video, is really deeply explain. But real quick, meditation, you don't have to look a specific way, you don't have to do specific things, you don't have to know Again, mudras, chants. You don't have to. You just lay down, relax, practice your breathing, focus on your breath, and the point again is to just learn to guide your mind, and to create focus on what it is that you want to focus on. Now, visualization. This is the key to manifesting, because in this physical world, we're all born amazing creators. We're born perfect. And as we grow up, as we experience, as the ego develops, we forget and we get told, stop daydreaming, imagination is silly, it's all about the real world, that's not real. But actually, the imagination is what created all of this. My imagination is what got us that bed, is what got us these plants, is what got us this place we live in. You know, the imagination is what got, and what you're watching on right now is you manifested this, whether it be an iPhone or a computer or a tablet. At one point it was an idea, you said, oh, I want this. You see, it started off as in your imagination and then you got it. Now, the imagination here in the physical world, things take time. Again, we're kind of experiencing a linear time, like a clock, right? Things take time. But in higher realms, in other dimensions, the moment you think something, the moment you visualize it, boom, it's popped. It's right there in front of you. Now, again, because this is a physical world, things take time. This is why visualization is important, so you can hold that, allow the thought and the idea to vibrate higher, gain enough momentum to enter the physical world. You see, it has to manifest itself. So now the key to this, it's not just like picturing it, you doing something. It's not just the eyes, right? Or what it sounds like, what it feels like. It's about the emotion. That's the key. Emotion, check it out. Emotion is energy in motion, right? That's where emotion comes from. So you have to get your visualizations a charge of energy. You have to give it that emotion, the feeling, you know. Maybe you want a new car, maybe you want a house, maybe you want a job, maybe you want a relationship. You can never get those things if you are walking around in the emotion of missing out, of not having those things, you know. You have to be it in order to receive it. So things like gratitude, things like visualizing, and things like not allowing the physical, the right now manifested affect what you are working on manifesting ahead of you, right? You have to focus on what's ahead of you, and so you can get closer to it. Because if you focus on the car that I have right now sucks, I hate being single, you're focusing on the now and you're creating more of that. You see, what you focus on, you create more of. So you start focusing on what it is that you want and how it makes you feel, and then that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and starts spinning bigger, and then boom, it sucks you in, and now it's manifested for you. You see, that's why this is so important to create the life you want. Understanding this all these things. Now, again, just like I'm doing a separate video for breathing and meditation, I'm going to be doing a separate video for visualization, and I promise you, you will manifest. You will create the life that it is that you want, that you deserve, because it is your birth-given right. The whole reason to come to Earth, to come to Gaia, to this planet, is so you can create the life that you want. It's so you can remember who it is that you are, which is a creator, which is source, which is everything that ever is and ever was. You know, we've gotten a little lost in our egos, but that's just kind of those that have been in power and control over this planet for hundreds of thousands of years have wanted it that way, you know. But that's another video too. But look, I hope all this information was helpful. Again, please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm excited to put out the breathing meditation and visualization. My goal here is to help you understand and remember who it is that you are. May you all have a peaceful time on this earth, and may you create all that it is that you want. Peace.